right, and I'm going to switch it to that view there. Speakers view. Okay. All righty, Miss Janet, would you like to kick it off?
Well, welcome everybody. As you know, we've been moving everyone along since April, May, building our team momentum, and we realized we really wanted to give you many opportunities to share with people because not everybody can come on a Sunday night or a different time. So we're really excited that we're able to offer a presentation for our prospects on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday night in Spanish. And so you'll have many different presenters, you'll have different perspectives, but the content will be the same. And we know that the company is moving into momentum. People are really taking off. And so we want you to have a tool that you can share and really tell the whole exciting LifeWave story and all the miracles we've had happen. And also now really the financial miracles are helping. So we're going to, who is presenting tonight? Julie?
I'm next.
Canute.
Yeah, well, Julia has a few words at the beginning and then we'll run.
Okay, great. So everyone, welcome aboard the new opportunity meetings. Go ahead, Julie.
Well, hi, everybody. My name is Julie Diebendal. I'm really excited as well to be here tonight with this new presentation schedule. It's super good. And I just wanted to just say, like, I'm a former police officer, so I don't have any experience, I guess you could say, with this technology. The only experience I have is that I play a lot of tennis and I got injured one day. And a friend introduced me to this technology because I was in a lot of pain. At the time, I didn't really know her very well. And she just suggested that I try this technology. And I wasn't really keen on taking a lot of pills or drugs, because I didn't think it wasn't helping anyway. I was just in a lot of pain and I couldn't get back on the tennis court. So I asked her, like, she asked me, what have you heard about stem cells? And I was like, I don't know anything about them. And she put the patch on me. So the rest is history. I was amazed at how quickly I got back on the tennis court. I was actually playing the next day, which is incredible. So I want to introduce my husband, Canute, who's going to run through this technology for you tonight. He has 40 years of experience in IT and a military background, and he's able to present this tonight. So it's pretty awesome. So take it away, Canute.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Janet. I really appreciate that. And I have to say that I am super excited. It takes a fair bit to get me excited, but I was very much on the sidelines when Julie came home and said, oh, you need to look at this. I said, yeah, nah. And but the good thing is that she chose not to use any medication. So she came home and lo and behold, after 10 minutes, sticking this little thing, this funny little thing on the back of her calf muscle, she was walking up and down the stairs. And I went, I'm very fortunate. My genes, my background, my family, I never really had anything chronic. I never had anything catastrophic, so to speak. So I've lived a relatively, I guess, healthy life in that respect. In my spare time, you might find me jumping out of a plane or scuba down to 100, 150 feet of water, or abseiling, canyoning, or finding myself climbing a 17,000 feet mountain ridge. So it's not for lack of trying that I haven't had any major issues. I had to say that. But when I started looking at this, working in IT, I'm pretty good at analyzing things. And I went, well, this might be an option for me because we moved to the UK, to the US about 11 years ago. We lived in a number of different countries. And to say that trying to establish yourself in a foreign country like the US and have probably 10, 15 years before you hit that magical 65 years of age and you're looking at retirement, my 401k isn't looking particularly good given that I have been here for 10 years. So I needed to find and look at something that might be able to facilitate an option. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, in addition to talk about what these patches, what this technology can actually do. So I'm going to ask you a question. Here we go. So I'm going to ask you a question. And if my cursor comes back and we can click on the screen. What do all of these people that you just saw on the screen, what do they all have in common, including you yourself? 2 words: stem cells. Stem cells, if you don't know anything about it, then let's address what they are. The stem cells are magical cells that when you pop out on your birthday and the doctor holds you upside down and gives you a smack across the bum, at that moment in time, you're basically a soup of stem cells, because the stem cells is basically used to build you. It is your own body building you. It's unique to you, nobody else. And what happens when you build, for example, a pancreas, it builds a kidney, it builds muscles, it builds tissue. When you're that young, everything in your body, virtually, apart from the blood cells that are transporting oxygen around in your system, can almost be perceived as being a stem cell. And these, what they call pluripotent stem cells, have this unique property that when they see something happening and say you tear a muscle, they can convert themselves or transform themselves into a muscle cell. Same goes if you have an issue with an organ, they can literally turn themselves into a kidney cell. But that's, guess, is the nucleus of what we're going to be talking about. So it's almost like the fountain of youth thing. It's a holy grail of natural healing and regenerative health that we're looking at. The challenge we have, as I said, when we're newborn, we basically are a soup of stem cells. But by the time we hit 30, 35, we are down to less than 50% of effective or active stem cells. And by the time we're approaching 60, we are pretty much out of luck. What does that mean as we translate it into our body and our way of recuperating, regenerating, repairing? What does it mean to our skin? Well, if we look in the mirror when we are 20, we typically don't see any wrinkles, fine lines, or saggy skin, nor do we see any gray hair. As we grow older, these things kind of start creeping in addition to other things like pain, joint pain, lower back pain. We can have issues with our ankles, shoulders. Our memory might not be as clear. We might be in a situation we kind of forget where did I leave my keys. And those kind of things that we kind of think, well, it wasn't like this 15 or 20 years ago. And you go to the doctor and they go, well, it's called getting old. And then something happened in 2019. What if there was a way that you could activate or reactivate your own stem cells and let your body start repairing itself, regenerating itself, and healing itself from within, without medication, without prescriptions, and without a doctor's visit? And when I got hold of that about 4 months in, after Julie started wearing these things, I went, okay, you got my attention. I shall try. And we'll see a couple of pictures later on as to what happened just in a space of probably between May and September in last year. We'll have a look at that. So, winding on. This is what rejuvenation can do in your body. Repairing, regeneration. And I'll just ask you guys to take 15, 20 seconds and look at these 8 little bullet points. If you could pick one or more, would you pick one or all of them? What if you have chronic pain? Well, what we're going to be talking about is can help you with rapid pain relief without pain medication. Mental clarity. Well, I worked in RT for a long time, and I'd noticed a major difference in my ability to get things done just from wearing these. Reduce inflammation. Well, if you reduce the inflammation, you typically also reduce pain. Pain in general is caused by inflammation. Unless, of course, if you have a broken bone, that's kind of acute. And but all right, we actually have people, I think, on the call today that broke their hip and applied some of this magic technology and never had any pain medication. Enhances sports performance. If you're out there, quick example, Julie and I was playing tennis and it was hot as haters. And we were in 2 sets in and we were still going good. Our opposition, when we asked for a third set, they go, oh no, we're backing up, we're tapping out. What about wound healing? There are some remarkable testimonials out there in how people have recovered from normal surgery. Let's say it's been an appendix or appendicitis. It could be, there's some remarkable pictures of people who had open heart surgery, just having something removed from their foot. In terms of recovering from exercise, I don't know about you, but I just started going back to the gym some 15, 16 weeks ago. I haven't been to the gym for 15 plus years. In that time, I was training 2 or 3 times a week, and not easy. There was a lot of lifting, but only once did I come back home sore. I can only put it down to this because when I started this, I was saying, oops, this is going to be difficult to get out of bed. Nope. Energy and vitality. Well, are you out and about? Are you playing with the kids, the grandkids? Are you trekking in the mountains? Or just the fact that you would like to improve your skin, the appearance of your skin. There are so many testimonials what happens when the collagen gets activated and they start replenishing and refreshing your skin. Amazing testimonials just on that. So what we're talking about a patch call or a technology with the name of the product is called X39. X39 is the culmination of years of research. And what was found is that there is what's called a copper peptide. It's a molecule in your body. And there's ample research. You can go to PubMed and the like and research if you want to. GHK copper peptides, GHK-Cu. And the research shows that it has an amazing effect on activating and reactivating your own stem cells. So the patch itself looks like this. I hope you can see this. It is wafer thin or thinner than a wafer. But what's on the back of this is organics and nanocrystals. And the best way to describe how they work, they are formulated to take part of your infrared light that's emanating out of your body as heat. And on certain frequencies, it's tuned to push that back into your skin. So it's like having a mirror on top of your skin, and it bounces that particular wavelength back into your skin to reactivate activate the copper peptides that then in turns reactivate your own stem cells. And there's a lot of other research. We'll give you a couple of websites should you wish to, but it has been out since 2019 after 3 or 4 years in research. And this is a unique product. No one else has it. No one in the world. And that's why we are so fortunate that we are where we are and seeing the results that we are seeing. How do you wear X39? Well, it's a wearable device, so to speak, although if you can call a piece of sticky with a device, I guess it is. You basically stick it on the nape of your neck or underneath your belly button. You wear it for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. You peel it off and you throw it away. We would recommend that you don't wear it at night because it will increase your energy levels. What you do then is that you are capable of, you can wear more than 1 patch at a time. But the caveat here is drink plenty of water because your body will start to naturally detox. Over the years, as we've been alive, our body builds up a certain amount of, shall we say, toxins in the body that we don't see, we don't register, we don't hear about. If we've been on medication like painkillers or blood thinners or blood pressure medication or any of those for any period of time, It will have built up as a residue in our muscles, in our body fat. And this particular patch goes to work and it starts pushing them out and allowing your system to regenerate itself. The amazing aspect here is that the moment in time you stick it on your skin, it starts activating up to 4,000 genes. I can only go by a classic example. We went out yesterday, Julie and I, and he's on the spectrum. But what we found was the moment in time we stuck the X39 on his temple, it was like, he goes, I can almost visually see my brain slowing down. It was amazing to watch. Within 6 weeks, we would expect your brain, or the brain of the person who's wearing the patch, to rebalance itself. There's a number of reports or clinical research that shows healthy adults, other than the fact that they are kind of stressed, sometimes under duress or whatever, but when they do these advanced technologies and they see the brain itself at day one is red as a tomato. It is red as a red traffic light because it's so inflamed, it's so active, so hyperactive. And then after 3 to 6 weeks, suddenly it breaks through and the brain turns into the colors of blue and green, showing calm and collectiveness in terms of how the brain operates, and it relieves stress. And that, of course, has a major impact on things like PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And we can go through a whole raft of other acronyms. 3 months, you would expect to see your skin and your collagen refreshing, rebuilding. And someone once upon a time told me that collagen is a little bit like grapes, like fresh green grapes, coming off, hanging on the clutch itself. But as we grow older, the collagen basically operates, turns into a resin. It kind of dehydrates and it kind of shrivels up. What this particular patch does is that it goes to work and it starts rebuilding the collagen without any other having to use any procedures, any chemicals, any Botox, or anything like that. As a result, you see there's a huge decrease in wrinkles, hair growth. We have had people who get completely balded heads, and they're now carrying around a mop of hair. The other interesting thing is that it actually begins to rebuild your skeleton and your muscular structures. The final point I would like to make is there is clinical evidence out there that after 6 months of someone wearing the patch for 6 months, they have seen a reversal in the vascular age in 14 out of 15 people of up to 8 years. So in other words, it's not anti-aging, we are reversing the age of your body. And for sure, I want my ticker to go younger. Ticker in Australia means hot, okay, everybody? So ticker means hot. So here are some examples. We can probably speak quickly through them. I'll start on the bottom right, and I'll be illogical in that sequence. But this chap on the far bottom right, he fell through the rafters on a building site. He broke a couple of ribs. He punctured his lung. And basically, the doctor says that you're going to be out of work for 6 weeks. Well, you can see there in 13 days, there are no bruises, and he could go back to work purely by applying the X39 patch. Bottom in the middle, someone had, I believe, a bunion, I think it's called in American/English. And you can see that in a month, there's next to no evidence of actually having had any surgery at all. Look at that beautiful smile on the bottom left-hand corner. I don't know the time period, but I would have it to say it's probably be around 3 months. We're talking about a mop of hair. Well, top left, that is, I would say, probably again 3 or 4 months. And I don't know whether Rosemary is on the call today, but definitely you see May 2022 through to 6-7 months later, there's a massive, massive difference. And as in general, what we suggest is that for every 10 years you've been alive, at least wear the patches for 1 month for each of the 10 years. So if you're 50, 5 months, 6 months, 60, and so forth, just to give you the maximum benefit to let the body reboot itself. Now, this character sitting in the middle with the, does men say turquoise? I don't know. That's what I would describe the color as. And then the red shirt, that's me. And the first picture on the left is basically from May last year, and the red one is from September. And I have to say, I didn't go to the gym. I didn't change my diet. I didn't do any lifts. I didn't do anything at work, at home extra in terms of doing body weights or doing push-ups or anything like that, going on a stationary bike. In fact, I ate the same and I drank exactly the same amount of beer. But that is what the patch has done for me in those 5 months. Now I'm going to pause here for a second and just flip off this presentation. I'm just going to ask some of you, 2 or 3 of you, if you could be kind enough to share maybe something that's happened for you, just a minute, minute and a half each. Would that be possible? Someone just wave your hand and jump in. Okay, Stephanie was first.
Hi, everyone. Lots of great things have happened since I've been wearing the patch. I've been wearing it for 6 months, but something very unexpected happened, and what that is that I had chronic acid reflux and gastritis for a while and really had to watch my diet. And I have not had it at all since I started wearing the patch. So that was just a nice extra added benefit in addition to, I don't feel so achy anymore. I recover faster from exercise. My muscles aren't as stiff. And lots of other things, but I just wanted to share that because that wasn't something I had even thought about.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, okay, I see you there. Come on.
My name is Matthew Luchallo. I basically stayed very calm when I went on this. I had a nice gentleman come to my mom's house. I met him at the Chamber of Commerce when I was advertising vacation trip guides, and it was a miracle. When he came over, he put the patch on the back of my head, which you can see right over here. And then his wife said, put it also on a hat. Try that out. When the husband put it on my head, it even slowed down my brain even faster. What I mean is the minute they put these patches on, I saw a difference. And each day it's getting better and better. My comprehension is getting better. Another good example, his wife was talking with my mom at the same time, and I was talking with the husband, and I was able to tune out their conversation and repeat what the husband said to me, and I got it right. And I was able to talk slower, talk better. Not only did it help my comprehension skills and making me more quiet and relaxed, I also have a herniated disc. And what the gentleman told me is, even though it's helping me to keep me calm, this patch will hold for anything. So if I have a herniated disc, I have a knee problem, anything. So if you don't know what's wrong with your system, it will fix other things. So even though you're wanting it to fix one thing, the miracle about this package is it will fix other things that you don't even know that's wrong with you. So a good example, say you didn't know you had a heart problem or a blood pressure thing, it's going to fix that too, if I understood correctly from you yesterday, right, sir?
Yes, thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. I met Matthew at the Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, and we got talking, and he's north of 40, put it that way, and has had Asperger's for as long as he's been awake and alive, pretty much. And just seeing the radical transformation in his calmness and the speed at which the brain operates is just unbelievable. So thank you very much, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? If we have time for one more. Rainey, did I see you? Oh, yeah. Okay, Rainey, come on.
Jerry or whatever. My biggest result has been that I've been able to go off of the pressure medicine. So that was huge for me. X39 and 49. It took 9 months going back and forth on cutting the dosage, checking the blood pressure. But just like Matthew said, you don't know what it's doing. I never felt that it was doing anything. And so I heard a nurse talking about her blood pressure and wanting to avoid medicine. So I thought, well, I think I'll check mine as well. So that's when I was able to wean myself off of the blood pressure medicine. And then it was doing its job. The X39 and 49, I'd never even realized it.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to, Jerry, I saw you waving. Then we get on. That's fine. Jerry, hop on in.
Thanks, Knut. I just want to say, Matthew, wow, just amazed, and we're so happy for you. So, yeah. I've been on the patches going on 23 months, and I am a slow healer, so to speak, but that's only because I have so much wrong with me. And I've had many things I could tell you about, but one that I was not expecting was that I looked like I was about 90 years old. If I wanted to pick something up from the floor, I had to grasp down and pull myself up. And if my knee hit the floor, it was like a spear went through it. Because at Christmas time, things had transpired with my husband's heart surgery. I had to do the attic with the Christmas boxes and stuff. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I went up there and I'm, you're crouched, it's not that tall. And all of a sudden, I just bent my knees, went down, and I crawled all over the attic, no pain. And it was just amazing to me. And it just wasn't a one-time thing. I am now crawling all over my floor, painting my baseboards. So thank you, Lifeway.
Thank you all. Thank you. All right, I'm going to switch back to what we have here. Let me see. Let me turn on my screen. Okay, here we go. So this magic came from a gentleman called David Schmidt. And go back here. Oops, I get too far. David Schmidt, he started with the patches way back in 2003 through 2004. And he was doing some contract work with the Navy SEALs and DARPA. And they basically set out to create something that would keep the Navy SEALs and the boomers, either submariners, I believe, awake in a heightened state of with energy for 12 hours straight without having to resort to drugs or coffee or any of those. So he came up with the very, very first patch in 2004 with this novel concept of using the patches and the organic crystals at the back. It comes from 2004. And the first patch out was something called an energy enhancer. And over the years, he developed other patches to supplement and augment the body in terms of various functions, appetite suppression, the master oxygen called antioxidant called glutathione, and the likes. David has more than 130 patents to his name or patents pending. And just being around him, listening to him, we were fortunate to spend 3 or 4 days with him in Aruba earlier in the year. And he is such a magnanimous person. So he's got time for everyone. But he is very, very well learned. He has some remarkable technologies in addition to these patches. And I just personally can't wait to see what he has to present to us coming up at the National Convention in the middle of October. I'm just saying, if you haven't got yourself a ticket for that, look at your calendar and say, all right, October 12th through to 14, I'm going to block it out and I'll figure out how I'm going to get there. Just do that as we go through here. So LifeWave is unique because it's the only phototherapy product in the world that uses the human body as its own source to activate stem cells. Nothing else out there does it. You can go out and you can have some infrared treatments, but you can only do that for a short period of time. This patch, you can wear 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and you don't have to go to a specific location to get this. On the right-hand side here, you can see a copy of the patent that was awarded to David Schmidt on July the 21st in 2020, when the US Patent Office issued the patent on the X39. Which means that it works. And it means that it's also exclusive for the next 17 years. A patent is issued for 20 years. So 2020, we're now in 2023. It is still there for another 17 years. Now, let's switch tack and have a look at what this X39 has done for the business of LifeWave in the last 3 or 4 years. In 2018, the company turned over $23 million. Fast forward the tape, roll forward the calendar, and we end up in 2022, 2023, and we're looking at north of $300 million in turnover. In fact, we heard something in Aruba, and it looks like we're going to surpass that by a huge margin as well. So 15 plus times growth in 4 years, only purely because of X39. The company stayed in and around $20 million for years and years and years prior to 2018. And here's the cool thing. The product is available in 75 plus countries around the world. So if you know someone living in Europe, if you know someone who lives in Asia, if you know someone who lives in the Caribbean, these patches are available in virtually all of those countries. For further information, check out the website and it will tell you where the countries, which markets are open. So I asked earlier, this is what regeneration can do in your body. And I hope and I pray that you picked one or more, or you just said, yes, give me all of them. Because when we begin to realize what this can do for us, the question then arises, what can it do? What can it help other people, such as Matthew earlier on? What can it do for other people? When we reach out and we are kind to other people and we want to share something that is so incredibly refreshing in this world of today, where we don't have to rely on medicines, prescriptions, going to the doctor. I mean, here's a little joke. If medicine was supposed to heal us, as in modern medicine, how come the doctors give us scripts with repeats? I never understood that one. So we offer a value pack to get going on this, what we call a silver value pack. It's basically 3 months of X39 or a combination of X39 and some of the other helper patches, like, for example, the Eon. But the baseline here is that the value pack comes in at $299.95 plus shipping plus tax. Just that on its own is a saving from retail price of $150. And that's why we're saying it's such an incredible value. You could change it, for example, and maybe run 2 X39s and 2 Eons. That is still the same. But the notion here is that allow your body to try this and use this for 2 to 3 months on the go, because that's when you begin to see the real benefits of what X39 can do. Matthew had an instantaneous response when I stuck an X39 on his temple. He's a one-patch wonder. But as the majority of people go, I mean, you can't feel that your hair is growing, you can't feel that your nails are growing. And that's where we always say, try this for 2 to 3 months, 3 months at least, and then at least 1 month for every 10 years you've been alive. I hope that makes sense. So where are we now? We got 15, 20 minutes left. I'm going to roll forward to, this has been all about your health opportunity. It's about how to restore your own health, your family's health, maybe some friends' health. But the whole idea with that was to restore and rejuvenate your own health. Well, let's switch tack now and see how we might be able to help you pay for your own patches. Because if you're going to run something that's costing you $100, $200 extra per month, then it would be nice to have a way to pay for it. It's like you have a subscription at home on your cell phone. Wouldn't it be nice to have something that paid for it? Wouldn't it be nice if you had a subscription that could pay for your cable TV or all the likes? So moving forward with that, here's the question for you all. What is most important in your life? Once you have your own health in progress of being restored, if you haven't got your health, where are you going to live? But if you have a way to start creating a secondary or tertiary or third income stream, every single financial advisor out there today says you should have a second or a third income stream. But I know that most people who work 8 or 10 hours, then an hour in the car each way, there isn't a lot of time to go out and do that. So some people work 2 or 3 jobs, and if you're still alive, you might work a 4th job, but that would be the weekend. What we have here is a way of leveraging our own time with other people. So let's have a quick look at the stem cell industry itself. Most people think that it's only an injection, or they go overseas and they have another injection somewhere. Here in the US, it's restricted typically to only be able to insert stem cells into the major joints of the body. Now, these are older than extracted from your own body, or they might be using some alternative technologies, such as embryonic stem cells from placentas and the like. The problem with that, of course, is that it's not your own DNA. And the question is how ethical, I don't know, but it's expensive. It's very expensive. A stem cell injection will run you anything from 3,000 to 5,000 to say 25, 30, or even up to 70,000. So the stem cell industry itself is expected to explode. Today, we're probably looking at probably $1 to $2 billion a year, maybe a little bit more. But in the next few years, it's going to grow to north of 300 billion. So let me ask you this in a slightly circumvent way. If I could take you back to 2003 for a second. And I ran in and I tapped Janet on the shoulder and said, hey, Janet, for a few dollars, I have this inside track on a company called Apple. And they're coming up with something called an iPhone, what they call a smartphone. And in 2003, if you said that you had, okay, I got $500, $1,000, top end, say $1,600. And if you knew in 2003 what you know today, I think everybody attending this today would agree that, yes, I would have found a way to find $500, $700, $1,000, $1,600. And I would have sunk that into Apple shares at that time in 2003. We have a way, we have a system to help you get that money back off the table, but still remain as active in the sense that you can continue to earn an income stream, even if you've gotten your first money off the table. And that is remarkable. I have never seen this before. In real estate, we talk about, okay, a deposit of big numbers, 20. And the quicker you can refinance, you can get your own money back off the table, then you can repeat it. Here, we can do this in 2 to 12 weeks. We can get that done in that time period. So, time is now. What options do you have? What really do you have up your sleeve to say, okay, the last 3 years have been interesting. People have been laid off. There have been constraints put on ourselves by outside agencies that we have no control over. I mean, do you want to be pain-free? Do you want to have your health back, your youth back, and be financially free? Maybe you already are financially free. But would you be able to, or wanting to, augment or supplement your income stream? I think the latter is a good idea, because we don't know what's around the corner. But the fact is that the world is crying out for something that can actually help them. Really, really help them. Julie, if you think about it, what were your options when you were hit with the AFib?
My option was to have 3 types of medication, like for heart failure medication and things like that. But it was I went to the pharmacist and they said it was $3,500 for the medication. That was after
You have an insurance, yes.
Yeah.
So what
My
happened?
insurance didn't cover that,
Yeah.
apparently. Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, I spoke to a doctor who is versed well with the patches, and I asked him about what my options were, and he was able to sort of guide me with my decision. That I ended up using the X39 with a couple of other supportive patches for a month, And that was able to help my body to heal itself. And when I went back to the doctor, the cardiologist, they were amazed at the state of my heart.
So
That
so
was
here-
incredible.
Exactly. And thank you, Julie, because here you have a lady, Julie, who used to play tennis for the Australian team in her age bracket. Very fit person, and now suddenly pulled back where the ejection rate from the heart was down to 40 to 44%. Now I'm the husband, and I'm going, I don't want you to fall over on a tennis court and be gone. In a month, with just using the patches, no chemicals, the ejection rate went from 40 to 44 all the way up to 60 to 65. And it was to the extent that the cardiologist, when he stuck the patches, his equipment on after a month, he goes, no, this can't be right. Tore off whatever he put on Julie's chest and put them back on. And he goes, this is just a statistical outlier. I have never seen this before. Your heart is now that of an elite athlete. And there's so many stories in and around what this can do. So many stories. People who have had stroke, people who have had a whole raft of other issues. We're not saying that it will heal, but it will start the body to rejuvenate. And that is the key. That is the key. The LifeWay business opportunity, should you wish so, is quite simple. You can come in from what we call a gold value pack all the way up to a diamond enrollment pack. If you're serious about it and you're interested to run this hard and fast, because we know the evidence is there, we know the technology is there, we would strongly recommend that you go towards a diamond enrollment pack. You get 19 sleeves of X39 to start your business. It's a $1,600 investment. Now, remember what I said about the iPhone? We have a system in place to return that investment to you in weeks. I said in weeks, not years, in weeks. And as the system goes, we have 5 types of bonuses that is affiliated with this business. This is a network marketing business. And some people groan and say, oh, it was too good to be true. No. You missed the point. This is the best business that you can ever fall into. Why? There's a bucket load of network marketing organizations out there, but they all sell a commodity, as in vitamins, protein powder, telephones, washing powder, washing up liquid, you name it, they do it. Makeup, art, skincare. No one in the world has what LifeWave has. That's why it's unique. And if you want to run a business, you have aspirations of being a business owner, you're always looking for something that is unique. It's a unique sales proposition and no one else has it. That's why it's so fantastic. So the compensation plan is very simple, really. We build out what we call a binary system. We have 2 teams, a left side and a right side. And you yourself are in a position that should you introduce a number of people and the team grows, you can tap out the maximum side of this compensation plan at this level at $25,000 a week. That's $1.3 million in a year. Yep, $1.3 million. Even if it was half of that, even if it was half of a half, that is still a significant amount of money that will make a life-changing impact on any family, any household, any individual. But it gets actually a little bit better because it's an unlimited income potential. So for example, if I know Julie and Julie knows Janet and Janet knows Bob, well, if Julie, whatever she starts doing, and she starts earning the first type of bonus, the company will pay a 25% override to myself. If Janet starts doing something, then because Janet was introduced by Julie, and who was introduced by me, the company will pay a 20% override to me. And if Bob gets active and he starts doing something, this is as deep as it goes, 3 levels down. There's some additional criteria. I won't get into that at the moment, but to say that there's a lot of opportunity for people to generate a significant side income, maybe replace your existing income, maybe be in a position to be a full-time mom or dad. I don't know, whatever is important to you. Is it having no mortgage on the house? Is it having a ski condo in Aspen or in Jackson Hole or something like that? Or take a 2 or 3 week vacation every single year to go skiing? Is it to decide that you want to go and see every single major city in the world that you have had on the bucket list for all your life? What we have here in our hands is a way to repair and restore your own health, and at the same time expand and grow your own wealth. And I have never seen anything like it. I have seen these sorts of businesses. I've been involved with these sorts of business for 20 plus years, and I have never seen anything like it. Never, ever. And the best thing is we have a system. And what you're seeing now is a part of that system by having a standardized presentation. I can see this is the opportunity that is here for your health as an opportunity for your wealth. And we're repeating these Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday is in Spanish. We have also a presentation at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. In addition, we are running a basic training session for our system every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We call it the 331 system. I'm not going to say anything much more about it. And also starting up, I think this weekend, we're also going to start running on this concept of network marketing. Most people do not know how to run or what the network marketing system is. And it's not a profession we ever taught. I heard someone say today is that we go to school typically for 12 years. That 12 years equates to roughly about 14,000 hours. I'm trying to work it out in my head, but that's probably right. Of education to train us to have a job. There's nothing wrong in having a job. It sustains families and everything else. But having an option, it requires a little bit of restructuring in our system on how we go about doing things. And that's why we have a system. And that's why we also introduce to you what network marketing is and what network marketing isn't. And that's starting as well. And I can see that I have lost an S on the startx39now.com. There should be a startx39now.com. So please add an S at the front of that will be much appreciated, because I don't think you'll find a tart X39 now. That would be funny. I'm going to finish with this. As I said earlier, if you do have your calendar available, grab yourself, look it up, and find yourself and block out 12th to 14th of October. If you have something kind of penciled in, ask yourself, maybe I should move it. Is it a movable thing? I would strongly suggest that you do, because this is where the company comes together to celebrate what has happened in the last year, an amazing year, by the way, and also what is happening with the new products coming out. People coming in from all over the world. Julie and I have people coming in from Europe, and we also have people, I believe, coming in from Australia. So this is a worldwide event, people coming in from near and far to actually attend this function and this convention to celebrate and to get a peek at the new products. I think that's it for me. I'm going to switch this off. And Janet, do you have anything? Have I said anything? Have I missed anything? Julie, jump in.
Well, does anyone have any questions or anything else they'd like to share? Well, then
Yes, I have one thing I wanted to share, because I was just texting this to my boss at Stop and Shop where I used to work. His son has Down syndrome. Can this help also with Down syndrome? Because he said, Matt, I've been talking with him since I started doing this stuff. And my boss, where I worked for over a year at Stop and Shop in New Jersey, he sees a big difference already just talking with him, where I pause in conversations and I do better. Can this help with somebody with Down syndrome too?
That's a good question, Matthew. I think number one, we should probably take that one offline, but what I would suggest is there's no harm in trying X39.
And I'll tell you why. Because a kid was working with Down syndrome in the grocery store.
That I do not
That's not
know.
a
Need to do
job.
some research, but as I said, we could come back to that one on the side.
Okay.
But my gut reaction would be to go out and try maybe something like X39, but I'll do some research and I'll find out for you.
Thank you. That's what I told my boss. I appreciate this because I'm doing so good. I memorized everything you said. My mom called me in and out of the room. And guess what? I was able to memorize what you were saying and still listen to her conversation and do 2 conversations, hear my mom talk, hear you talk. And I was able to memorize 2 things. And I never did this before. I'm telling you, this is better than
Wow.
THC that they gave me in Colorado. People
Fantastic.
around me in Colorado couldn't believe when I took the THC. Even the police couldn't believe it. They're like, he's on medical and I'm doing good. Now you put me on this. And guess what? I can focus. Now I'm learning how to not to talk too fast. And when I do, I can catch it. This is like a miracle. It's like God coming into my system.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Well done. Well done. Thank you, Matthew.
You're
That's
welcome.
awesome.
Y'all, any other question? All
Well,
right.
I would like to just add, we really are on the cusp of a really big boom, you guys. And you want to be riding that rocket ship. Really, you don't want to look back a year from now, next June in 2024 and go, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Honestly, you'll be, wow, I really missed out. 2024 is going to be LifeWave's 20th year anniversary. And we heard from David in Aruba, a lot of great things are being planned. And I think all of us here know the power of this patch and the power of healing, which Matthew has really underscored. Thank you, Matthew. But honestly, not just with our own health and what we can do for the world, but we know that people really are looking for something out there. They're trying other companies. They're trying, Pampered Chef. They're trying different cosmetic companies. And honestly, why shouldn't they be on here? So let's look at this next 3 months all the way to convention as our time for our rocket ship to take off. So please invite people every week to these. Let's follow up. Let's help them like we've helped Matthew. So thank you, Knut and Julie.
Thank you all. I hope you've had this has been valuable. You can see how we're setting it up for repeats. That doesn't mean that every single one of us had to attend every single time. I have to say that. But now that you see the flow of it, I and Janet and Julie and everyone who has manager and above, we implore of you is the word. Thank you. To invite people to come and have a look. Just to see what this thing is all about. A thing called X39. Because there's a combination of talking to people and sometimes we just talk too much. But here it's a confined, compressed format, and we should all be able to pull this out and run it ourselves. We will make the PowerPoints available. We might make a tweak or two, fix a spelling mistake or two. But apart from that, we will make this available for you guys to download and pretty please with sugar on. Don't try to tear it apart and reorganize it. It means that we all can follow our system. We can also follow that path. I'm going to turn off the record.